Hello, this is week 12 of the Coding Bootcamp assignment for Promineo Tech. This week we are working on JUnit testing. So we'll start off by showing the POM file, which shows the group ID, which is my unit test. Artifact ID is unit test assignment. In this project, we're using the Guava, JUnit, assert J, and Makito in this project. So we have our test file, which is test demo test, and the main file, which is test demo. Now in test demo test rather, we have our two test cases. We have assert that two positive numbers are added correctly and assert that number squared is correct. We're going to focus on assert two positive numbers are added correctly. So within the test case, we have an if-else statement, which is asserting if expect exception, which is a Boolean value, as you see right here, if it is the opposite of it, so it's expected to be true. So if it's false, it asserts that the test demo at positive is equal to expected. Now, as you see right here, the parameters are int A, int B, int accepted, and Boolean expect exception. We have the method source, which links to a static stream, which uses the arguments, which as we see in the main code up here, we have all of our import statics and regular imports. Now within it, we have the arguments, which show the int values and associated Boolean values to see if it will cause an exception or not. As we see in the main code, the actual code itself is a public int add positive, which takes a parameter int A and B, and it checks if the A and B are both positive, so greater than 0, and it will return it. Otherwise, it'll throw a legal exception argument. So we check to see. So if one of the parameters is 0 or a negative number, it does throw an exception. So it'll send true. And you see right here, if this is false, it'll do that, but if it's true, it'll throw out exception of it. So 2 plus 4 equals 6. All these are positive numbers, so it's false. This is a negative number, so it's going to be true. This is 0. These are both positive numbers, false. These are both negative. This is 0, that's a 0, that's a negative, and these are both positive. And we have this test case right here. So if we run this, disable this real quick. And we're going to run a JUnit test. As we see, all these run the code correctly, but if we uncomment this and run it again, see that this is wrong because the exertion failed test, because 9 plus 10, while they are both positive numbers, they do not equal 21. So it's false. It was expecting 21, but the answer is actually 19. Comment this out again. We run it, see if the code works. Now for assert number squared correctly, we have the test demo, we have public int random number square, which returns get random int times itself. Now for get random int, we take the random class from Java, and we run through it, and we'll return a random int value between 0 and 10. For 10 digits, so it's 0 to 9, that's why we add 1, so it's 1 to 10. And we have to run a mock sample, a Makito mock class, to test it for a specific value of 5. When it runs through the get random int, and int 5 squared runs through the random square method and asserts that 5 squared is equal to 25. Let's comment this out and run the JUnit test. As we see, there are no errors in the code.